السلام عليكم. ومحي ماسونيدو ماسونيدو وأورو يهوديد oo dahsoon una adeega danaha yahuuda. waxa ay caabudaan ibliis iyo shaydaamihiisa oo uu ugu horeeyo Lucifer. waxa ay u gogol xaaraan imaanshaha masiixu dajaal si ay ugu gacan geliyaan xukunka adduunka, caasimadiisana ay uga dhigaan magaalada Qudus. goorma ayaa la asaasay maasoniyadda? maadaama oo arrimahooda oo dhami ay sir yihiin, si rasmi ah looma xadidi karo xilliga dhidibada loo asaasay, balse iyagu waxa ay tibaaxaan
But understand that Masonry has been around a long, long time. It may not have always been called Freemasonry, but Masons itself brag about the fact that their first Mason was Tubal-Cain. Now, Tubal-Cain, if you know your Bible, was the seventh man from Adam by way of Cain, and he was the guy that invented metalworking. And he is supposedly the first Mason. Now, that's pretty far back to start a conspiracy.
Nabi Nuux qoomkiisii kadib markii la halaagay, maasonigii ugu horreeyay waxa uu ahaa Nimrud, oo ahaa boqorkii Babel.
Then, of course, you have the flood. After the flood, the Masons say that the first Mason was Nimrod. Now, of course, we all know who Nimrod was. He's the guy that helped build the Tower of Babel. That's pretty good Masonry. He was the person who basically had the idea for a one-world government. He wanted to start a United Nations. He had all these great ideas, you know, one-world government, all this kind of stuff, New World Order. And God had other ideas. And God came down and he cast confusion and changed the languages of the people. So they went and scattered abroad on the earth. That basically tells us what God thinks about the United Nations.
halkaa waxay inooga caddaatay fikradaha Nimrud inay qaarkood maasoniyiinta u hirgaleen, sida qaramada midoobay iyo xukuumad midaysan oo adduunka maamusha, taasoo ah Maraykanka. asaaskoodii saddexaad waxa uu ahaa markii uu soo baxay Nabi Ciise calayhi salaam, ayay arkeen yahuudi diintiisii u baahaysa. kadib boqorkii Qudus iyo la taliyayaashiisii yahuudi ahaa ayaa mar saddexaad maasoniyadda dhidibada u aasay.
الملك هيرود ومستشاره حرام أبيود حين رأوا انتشار المسيحية قرروا يعني تكوين جمعية سرية لمواجهة هذا الانتشار بين اليهود وللقضاء على المسيحية.
لقد أسس هيرودس أكريبا ملك من ملوك الرومان بمساعدة مستشاريه اليهوديين حيران أبيود نائب الرئيس، مواب لامي كاتم سري أول. لقد قامت الماسونية منذ أيامها الأولى على المكر والتمويه والإرهاب، حيث اختاروا رموزا وأسماء وإشارات للإيهام والتخويف، وسموا محفلهم هيكل أورشليم للإيهام بأنه هيكل سليمان عليه السلام. قال الحاخام لاكويس: الماسونية يهودية في تاريخها ودرجاتها وتعاليمها وكلمات السر فيها وفي إيضاحاتها، يهودية من البداية إلى النهاية. أما تاريخ ظهورها فقد اختلف فيه لتكتمها الشديد، والراجح أنها ظهرت عام 43 ميلادية. سميت القوة الخفية، وهدفها التنكير بالنصارى واغتيالهم وتشريدهم ومنع دينهم من الانتشار. كانت تسمى في عهد التأسيس القوة الخفية، ومنذ بضعة قرون تسمت بالماسونية، لتتخذ من نقابة البنائين الأحرار لافتة تعمل من خلالها، ثم التصق بهم الاسم دون حقيقة. تلك هي المرحلة الأولى.
aasaaskoodii afraad ulkunkoodii afraad waxa uu ahaa xilligii ay reer Yurub ku soo qaadeen muslimiinta weeraradii loo yaqaanay crusades ama alxamalaat as-saliibiyya.
The origins of this global plan were not created in the offices of the White House. In reality, their roots lay in another war. This time, the year is 1095, and the place, Clermont, France. 11th century Europe was ruled by the Church, which held a firm grip on the hearts and minds of the people. This power enabled Pope Urban II to wage war on the Muslim Caliphate and crusade in what he called a War of the Cross, to recapture the land of Jerusalem. It had been under Muslim rule since the year 637, but in 1099 this rule was brought to a bloody and sudden end. In the name of the cross, women were raped and murdered, children were put to the sword, and it is said that blood ran in the streets knee-high to the horses. Out of this land of bloodshed and terror, a group of men arose, men that would stop at nothing to get what they wanted, no matter what the cost. 20 years after Jerusalem was taken, the Dome of the Rock was seized by a group of warrior monks calling themselves the Knights of the Temple of Solomon, or more simply, the Knights Templars. In Jerusalem, the Templars began to deviate further and further away from the practices of Christianity. They learnt the secret arts of the Kabbalah, an ancient form of Jewish magic, along with its dark rites and rituals. The Jews had learnt the arts from the pagans of ancient Egypt during the times of enslavement to the Pharaoh, and developed them into Babylon at the time of Nebuchadnezzar.
markaasina waa marka ay sida rasmiga ah u asaasantay maasuuniyadda ilaa maanta adduunka ka talisa. kadib waa laga shakiyay waana la laayay badankoodii. intii hadhayna waxa ay u firdhatay Scotland, halkaas oo ay ku milmeen boqortooyadeedii.
In 1307, King Philippe of France arrested them for charges of denial of Christ, homosexuality, and idol worship, as well as magic. In 1314, Pope Clement V declared all Templars as heretics to Christianity, ordering all their properties to be seized. Their leader, Jacques de Molay, was captured and burnt to the stake. The Templars were cornered, and just when it seemed they were finished forever, a glimmer of hope arose from a seemingly certain end. They were to find a safe haven as well as an ally. But not in France. In fact, in a country in a desperate struggle for independence against the English. The country of Scotland. For some, Scotland's hope of independence had died with the death of William Wallace. However, to the King of Scotland, Robert the Bruce, the arrival of the Templars gave him a new secret weapon. Their experience, gained over 200 years of fighting the mighty armies of Islam, had made them expert in combat and warfare, and more than a match for any army brought before them. In 1314, the Templars, allied with Robert the Bruce and his army, took to the fields of Bannockburn in the long-awaited showdown with the English. Robert the Bruce's foresight paid off. The 25,000-strong English army suffered a humiliating defeat at the hands of only 6,500 men. The dream of an independent Scotland had finally been achieved. The Templars had brought themselves back from the brink of destruction, and never again would they allow themselves to be destroyed. This time they would control the country by controlling its kings, and in order to preserve their secret order, the Templars would have to die, or more precisely, the name would have to die. The Templars, who had escaped Europe, were finally laid to rest in Roslin Chapel, Scotland, which stands to this day as sign of their presence in Britain.
halkaas ayay ka bilaabeen in ay awoodooda ku baahiyeen adduunka, waxa aanay ugu horeysiiyeen Ingiriiska.
For over 100 years, the Templars concealed their activities, fading into the background until they were little known and little remembered. All the time they were planning, regrouping, and infiltrating positions of power in all corners of the kingdom. Their descendants became the true power of Scotland. In 1603, The death of Queen Elizabeth I left England without an heir to the throne. By virtue of descent, King James V of Scotland became King of England. In doing so, Scotland and England joined to form a new kingdom, and the power that the Templars held over Scotland spread to give them a firm grip on the whole of Great Britain. In 1717, the Templars made their reappearance in Europe. They had grown in both number and strength, and were now ready to coin a new identity, free from their reputation of the past, and the name they chose for themselves was a name that would be known by many, but understood by a few. This new name, the Freemasons.
kadib waxa ay ogaadeen qaaradda Mareykanka, taas oo ay u arkeen inay tahay fursad ay ku oonki karaan dawlad ugub ah oo ay danahooda ku fushadaan. dawladdii markii ay shacab uga baahatayna waxa ay u rareen dadkii rabshoolayda ahaa ee reer Yurub iyo addoomo Afrika laga gurtay si ay ugu sahlanaato inay dadka hadhow maskaxda ka qabsadaan. hankoodii ahaa qabsashada adduunkana way sii labalaabeen.
The Freemasons were not content with power in Britain alone. Their ambitions were far greater. In the years to come, the world would witness Europe and America being plagued by wars and revolutions, each more devastating than the other. However, these would not be as commonly believed, the spontaneous effects of a downtrodden people, but in fact schemes created by the exclusive few, driven by hunger for absolute power. All this would take place from the very country from which they had fled centuries earlier, and would become the base for their global domination.
waxa ay kacdoon ka bilaabeen waddankoodii ay ka soo jeedeen ee Faransiiska, taasoo dhaxal siisay inay ka dhisaan dawladdii Napoleon Bonaparte. waxa ay haddana ka fuliyeen kacdoonkii loo yaqaanay kacdoonka shaaha dalka Mareykanka, taasoo dhaxal siisay inay adduunka ka dhalato dawladdii ugu horreysay ee mas'uuliyaddu leedahay ee madax bannaan. sidoo kale waxa ay yeesheen madaxweynihii ugu horreeyay ee mas'uuli ah, kaas oo ah George Washington. kadib markii ay dawlad yeesheen madaxweyne xor ahna ay heleen, waxa ay dejiyeen qorshihii ay aadamaha oo dhan ku maamuli lahaayeen, waxaana fikirkaasi ka soo maaxday آدم وايزهاوت.
فتبدأ عام 1770 عن طريق آدم وايزهاوت المسيحي الألماني الذي ألحد واستقطبته الماسونية ووضع الخطة الحديثة للماسونية بهدف السيطرة على العالم. وانتهى المشروع عام 1776 ووضع أول محفل في هذه الفترة، المحفل النوراني، نسبة إلى الشيطان الذي يقدسونه. استطاعوا خداع 2000 رجلا من كبار الساسة والمفكرين، وأسسوا بهم المحفل الرئيسي المسمى بمحفل الشرق الأوسط، وفيه تم إخضاع هؤلاء الساسة لخدمة الماسونية.
وأنا مركا أي لبحين مقعة إلوميناتي. sidii aynu hore u soo sheegnay, waxa ay hiigsanayaan in ay u diyaariyeen dajaal cawar madal midaysan si marka uu soo baxo ay ugu suuro gasho in adduunka oo dhan ka maamulo Qudus. arrinkaasina waxa uu uga baahday salaan ay u maraan si ay u gaaraan. salaankaasina waxa uu noqday kow inay qabsadaan Qudus. laba inay khilaafadii islaamka ee Cusmaaniyiinta dumiyaan.
هي كما قال بعض المؤرخين آلة صيد بيد اليهودية، الماسونية وراء عدد من الويلات التي أصابت الأمة الإسلامية، ووراء كل الثورات التي وقعت في العالم، فكانوا وراء إلغاء الخلافة الإسلامية وعزل السلطان عبد الحميد، كما كانوا وراء الثورة الفرنسية والبلشفية والبريطانية.
3 in ay muslimiinta qaybiyaan. afar inay hal dowlad, hal af iyo hal diin adduunka u sameeyaan, iyo weliba hal lacaga. 5 inay xumaanta, qaawanaanta, fasahaadka iyo maalayacniga faafiyaan. 6 inay diimaha oo dhan la dagaalamaan guud ahaan, gaar ahaana islaamka, oo ay u arkaan inuu halis gaar ah ku yahay.
أنها في أهدافها الحقيقية السرية ضد الأديان جميعها لتهديمها بصورة عامة وتهديم الإسلام بصفة خاصة.
si ay taa u gaadhaanna waxa ay gacanta ku dhigeen dhaqaalaha, siyaasadda iyo warbaahinta. balse qorshayaashaas maxaa uga hirgalay? badankoodu way u hirgaleen. khilaafadii islaamka way burburiyeen, qudusna way qabsadeen.
For thousands of years, the holy lands of the Middle East have run with blood. Here, the scars of battle fought between 3 of the great religions of the world are etched into the earth. But the deepest wound was made by a war between Christian and Muslim, begun at the close of the 11th century and fought for 200 years. At stake, a tiny strip of land just a few hundred miles long, but with the greatest prize, Jerusalem.
200 oo sano oo colaad ah kadib, kiristanku way ku fashilmeen qabsashada Qudus. balse marnaba Qudus qalbigooda kama ay bixin. waxa ayna cashar ka barteen kifafkii waasiiyey Qudus, waxa ayna maleegeen dabin kale.
The great industrial powers are locked in mortal combat. Millions are dying in the trenches in Europe, but the consequences of the war are felt around the globe. The old, semi-feudal Ottoman Turkish Empire, already shaken by nationalist revolution in 1908, is falling to pieces. And disastrously, it's allied to Germany. The British and French are out to make the most of the collapse of the Ottoman Empire in the Middle East.
When Britain left the Holy Land, she left like a thief in the dark. For the first time, for the only time in British history, there was no legal transfer of power from Britain to the successor state. In 1948, Britain acted as the midwife for the baby to be born. the European Jewish state of Israel. An amazing thing has happened. The British government did something which was incredibly strange and mysterious. Britain issues a declaration known as the Balfour Declaration in November 1917 that it is the intention of His Majesty's government to work for the establishment of a Jewish national home in the Holy Land. The only thing stranger than that ever occurred in history, why would a secular state, which leads the world of secular states, declare its intention to work for the establishment of a Jewish national home, meaning a Jewish state, in the Holy Land? 2 months later, this was October 1917, in December 1917, it is the British Army, led by General Allenby, which defeats the Ottoman Islamic Army and liberates the Holy Land. And when Allenby entered into Jerusalem, the British general declared, "Today, the Crusades are over."
bal u fiirso waxa uu janaraalkaasi yidhi dagaaladii kristigu way dhammaadeen waana dowlad cilmaani ah taasi waxa ay caddaynaysaa in ingiriiska ay maamulayeen yahuud maasuuniyiin ah oo danahooda ku fushanayay waxyaabaha kale ee maasuuniyada u suura galay waxaa ka mid ah
In the shadows, they have engineered every major war, revolution and recession. They control everything you read, everything you hear, and everything you see. They have managed to indoctrinate an entire populace to their way of thinking and have infiltrated key positions in places of authority. And it is from the shadows that they have created a new political order, a new economic order, and more sinister, a new religious order. Their ultimate aim is total global domination, and they will stop at nothing to reach their goal.